Hey up lads and lasses, Fletch here from Ultimate Halo, and I know the title is a bold statement and I'm just referring to gameplay. We know nothing about the story, and I was sat here and I was like watching the trailer again. I was like, you know what? Halo Infinite has some pretty cool enemy encounters and does a lot of new things that we've never seen before in a Halo game. So from everything we've seen so far, it looks like there is a lot more going on than we've ever had in the past, and I kind of want to break that down and show you some of the things that you might not have noticed about how the Banished play and why I think they're so great, and we'll get into that in the video, so enjoy.
Ultimate Halo.
So, there are quite a few reasons why I think the Banished are so much better from a gameplay perspective than the original Covenant, and especially the Storm Covenant. Halo 4 onwards didn't seem to have great AI, and it was a bit of a compromise to do a lot of the things I wanted to gameplay wise and graphically. As such, I would go as far to say that Halo 3 and Reach had some of the most intelligent AI, which reacted quite a lot differently than other games. One of the first things that I really enjoy about the Banished in Halo Infinite is this random drop we saw in the gameplay trailer. The way we saw the brutes aggressively charge at you was exciting because in Halo 3, the elites joined forces with humanity, and the brutes almost had to fit the role of the new elites, and their aggressive behaviours were kind of gone unless you were fighting up against a chieftain. One thing you may have also have noticed is that when they charge, it's not just as simple as in Halo 2. For a start, Halo 2's brutes were an absolute nightmare when they were berserking, and honestly, it was probably one of the worst moves Bungie made in Halo 2, whereas Halo Infinite's brutes react to where you shoot them. Just watch Chief shoot this brute's foot here, and he dynamically reacts based on what the player is doing, and he stumbles as a result of it. A potential use case for this could be in co-op, for example. What I imagine is seeing a brute charge my friend whilst they are reloading, so I just pop his foot to make sure he stumbles, and then once my friend is done reloading, he can just finish them off. It might just seem like a very small feature, but I think it will have plenty of room for lots and lots of cool moments. Another awesome feature I've noticed is that when they've started to use human weapons. Now, this does actually fill the gap left by the Flood. You see, in the original trilogy, the only times you'd see human weapons being fired against you was the Flood, and with them potentially not being a part of the story, I hope they are, but let's just assume for now they're not. It's great to see the Banished are scavenging, resulting in you being on your toes, and it may also solve some issues about not having as much human ammo throughout the game, because it's quite likely that human bases and settlements will be very scarce, with them being hunted down as all. As well as this, we already know that the Banished have a history of using human pieces as trophies, as we can see Aatrox having an ODST chest piece on his abdomen. It's just a small feature, but it's pretty cool, and hopefully there can be more ways this can be incorporated into gameplay potentially. Just a quick heads up, only 29.2% of you watching my videos are subscribed, so if you want more great Halo Infinite content, hit that button down below. And I'm also taking art remake requests on Twitter. I made these two pieces on screen right now. I don't know, just in case you want to follow me on Twitter, but let's get on with the video. The next great feature I want to talk about is the way they treat grunts. Now, we know the grunts have had a history of being tortured and used by the Covenant. It's actually quite tragic, to be honest with you, but it's almost like Stockholm Syndrome, because some of them do not want to seem to leave and they just keep coming back. It's like an abusive relationship. But at the same time, there are two occasions where brutes are throwing grunts with plasma grenades, basically showing you that nowhere on this game is safe. It's a really aggressive playstyle. It plays into the reason why the brutes and the elites play differently, which segues into another great thing about Infinite's Banished, and it's its sheer variety. I would say variety is something that's been lacking since about Halo 4 onwards. Halo Reach had a wealth of species, from skirmishers to hunters, from Gueta to Moa, and in one short trailer reveal we got various forms of enemies, lots of different classes, especially from the brutes, grunts with both 343 and Bungie era art styles, and Jackals who casually walk around with and without shields. This is likely something that hasn't even scratched the surface just yet. And we do know that the hunters are a thing, and it's supposed to play out much differently than we expect to have known in the past, further to Joe Staten's comments about them, and who knows what that's going to play like, especially with the grappling hook, and that was quite a big centre of attention when he talked about the encounter. Also, is there going to be wildlife? Who knows, but either way, there's going to be a lot to play around with, and I'm sure 343 have a lot more up their sleeve than that. Lastly, this is less of a gameplay thing, but I kind of just wanted to fit it in anyway. I enjoy that the Banished have their own identity compared to the Storm Covenant. For me, you'll never beat the classic religious covenant that were led by the prophets, but the Banished, both from a design and a characterization perspective, outclass the Storm Covenant. Their motives have some sense to them, but there's still some mystery behind it. They have some great leaders, which Julam Darba could have been given a chance, he could have been there, but Atriox and other characters such as Escharum have a great cast around them, and I think that's just a really great benefit for them as a faction. So for all of the reasons above, I think the Banished are going to be a great faction, but I'm kind of curious, what are your thoughts? Do you think they're going to be a really good set of enemies to play? I do, and I know this was a bit of a shorter video, but it's just something I wanted to get off my chest for a while because I think the Banished have so much potential, and it seems that 343 are really starting to tap into it. So let me know in the comments. Once again, my name is Jack Fletcher, and I will see you next time on the one and the only Ultimate Halo.
Subscribe now to Ultimate Halo for more unfriggin' believable Halo content.